These last few weeks, the gold price has certainly given us a wild ride, but I want to ask you a question. Did gold actually hit $2,100 an ounce? I mean, the obvious answer and the truth answer is yes, of course it did. During, in intraday trading, it crossed $2,100 an ounce. But what I mean by that question is, did it really matter? I mean, think about this. When gold spiked, it was Sunday night, December 3rd. The markets opened up, and I saw at least 2 YouTubers, probably 3, go live on my channel specifically to talk about what was happening with gold. We saw it live go over $2,100 an ounce. I even myself thought about going live, but so many were already live. I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait till tomorrow and see what happens. It'd be a really cool story if it maintained over $2,100 an ounce, and we went into Monday with gold at $2,100 and still staying steady or going up. But I think we all know that that is not what happened. In fact, the price of gold dropped so quickly down from that peak that today, which is only like 4 days later, I'm recording this on Thursday, December 7th at around 10 a.m. Only a few days later, we saw gold wipe away all of the gains that it made in this last week and a half. It is trading roughly right now as I'm recording this video for where it was, not last Monday, but the one before. So did gold really hit $2,100 an ounce? I certainly know that for if you were to buy or sell gold in local, like, to a local coin shop or with somebody locally or so on and so forth, that it didn't hit $2,100 for you because it wasn't there enough for you to take advantage of it. Gold really only hit $2,100 an ounce long enough for people that are sitting on fake paper contracts to sell off and make gains. And meanwhile, we're all sitting here with our physical gold in hand, excited that it's going up and then seeing it crash back down once again. So I want to talk about that today and a few other things. So guys, welcome to the Talking Hands podcast. I hope that you stick with me for this entire episode. You don't have to keep the screen up. This is just a podcast, so you can minimize it and just listen in the background while you do whatever you do. But thank you for joining me. And additionally, don't forget that we are sponsored by SD Bullion. So do me a favor and make sure you go over and check out their website. Go over to the Docs Deals page and check out some of their deals, or even take advantage of their Monster Box giveaway. If you haven't entered that yet, you still have time till the end of the year to enter for your chance to win a full Monster Box of 1 ounce American Silver Eagles. So thank you to SD Bullion for sponsoring the channel. But getting back to it, yeah, it really did hit $2,100 an ounce. But as I've already hinted at, it was just for such a short amount of time that it didn't really matter. Like, look at it like this. Do me a favor. Just take the time out whenever you have time. Go over to SD Bullion's website or go over to Kitco and look at their spot price chart. Look at December 3rd and December 4th and tell me where in that chart it is. You can see it spiking up, but you can't really see it very close unless you really zoom in. And even then, it's really hard to find because it was such a minute amount of time that even on some gold price trackers, you don't actually see the peak. So yes, it was there. We have proof, we have screenshots, we have evidence, we have live stream, we have articles on all these mainstream news media talking about it. And actually, that's one of the good things about what gold did, is that it did get people talking about gold again in mainstream media, because as you guys know, gold and silver, and man, I love silver. Gold and silver are very shunned in the world of cryptocurrency, in the world of everyone concerned about Bitcoin and making gains and creating more fiat for themselves, which, by the way, I don't have a problem with. Everybody wants more money so they can live a better lifestyle, so they can pay their bills, so they don't have to worry, so on and so forth. But a lot of people look at crypto for that, and it puts gold and silver on the back burner in their mind, and they don't even think about it. So, when gold hit $2,100 an ounce, we actually saw mainstream news articles pop up. We saw CNBC. This is a little excerpt. CNBC 4 days ago, spot gold prices rose to a record high above $2,100 an ounce before giving up some gains. CBS News, gold prices are hitting record highs, topping $2,100 per ounce on Monday as investors boost their holdings of the shiny metal as a hedge. Yahoo Finance, gold prices are hitting record highs, topping $2,100 per ounce on Monday as investors boost their holdings of the shiny metal. Of course, there were articles on the other side of it talking about how quickly it dropped, so that's not a good thing if you're wanting to get people thinking about gold, and I'll tell you why in a second. But for example, this one here is from Reuters. It says, gold rally cools as dollar holds ground, U.S. job data in focus. And then the article goes on. Here's just a little excerpt. It says, spot gold was down 0.5% to 2020.29. This was 2 days ago. 2020.29 per ounce by 3:10 p.m. Eastern. Bullion had climbed to a record high of 21.3540 on Monday before dropping. So it is good that it got people thinking about gold, but it's also bad when you think about that Reuters article. If you want people to be interested in fundamental real money like gold and silver, when they see an article say, hey, it hit 21.35 and now it's 2020 just a couple of days later, Boy, that doesn't really bode well for people interested in precious metals and getting interested in precious metals. And it certainly doesn't sound appealing to the people who I just spoke about that want to make more fiat currency. That's why they're looking at things like crypto. And I've talked to Josh from My Not Coin and Bullion about this before on the channel. But crypto absolutely puts a strain on interest in precious metals prices. There's no doubt about it, because a lot of people look at, in fact, I'll tell you this. I had someone tell me that gold and silver were boomer rocks. I know some of you have heard me tell you that before, but I had this comment, this was a while back. Someone literally called them boomer rocks, and I just thought it was the funniest thing, because they look at cryptocurrency as the new gold, as the new age gold. The thing I don't like about cryptocurrency, and keep in mind, I am not completely anti-crypto. I am 98% anti-crypto, but the reason it's not 100% is I recognize crypto's ability to make money. I realize people having the opportunity to ride the wave up, and if they do sell at the right time, they have the opportunity to make a lot of money, and that's fantastic for them. But man, every time it goes down, and it certainly does, there are people holding bags. There are people holding bags of crypto that they want to sell, because unlike gold and silver, crypto isn't fundamentally money. Unlike gold and silver, crypto is not something that you hold and that you own. Crypto is something that exists on a blockchain that requires that you have access to the internet and access to electricity to even take advantage of. It's fantastic if you want to take a shot at making money. It has made millionaires for sure. But, something I said in our Discord server, I said this morning actually to somebody. I said, crypto is an opportunity for whales to take advantage of dreamers. And what I mean by dreamers is people that are dreaming of creating wealth for themselves. They're not interested in stacking gold and silver as a savings or as a fundamental store of wealth because it's real money. They're not interested in stacking gold and silver to have a physical asset. They're interested in creating more money to put into their bank account. And if that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. I am not knocking you for doing that. But what I'm trying to say is that the reason that your fundamental gold and silver stacker stack gold and silver is not for those reasons. We try not to subscribe to the fear of missing out, or FOMO. We try not to make bad financial decisions by investing money into something that could lose everything. We invest, at least I really shouldn't say we, but I invest into gold and silver, and I've said this before, you guys know this, but I invest into gold and silver because I believe in it as real money, as a fundamental way to store wealth, as something that I actually have and hold in my hand. This is real. This is real to me. If the internet is gone, or if electricity is out because there's power grid issues or whatever, I know that I still have this. The money in the bank that needs to be accessed by a debit card is even in question, but this right here, I have this. This is real money. I have it on me, and I feel comfortable actually having real money in front of me and available if I need it. That's why gold and silver is so important, and that's why I stack gold and silver. If I wanted to make more fiat currency, I would continue. I've made money on crypto, guys. I really have. I have investments in tech stocks and so many other investments that, I put money in that is intended to make me more fiat currency, but that's not what I'm doing with gold and silver. And I think you see, and I was watching this video from another YouTuber who I've actually never talked to, but I'm going to get to meet next week. His channel name is 2is1gold. I don't know his real name, but I'm going to meet him. But he did this video, and I'll put a link down below. You guys should go watch it. Great channel, by the way. If you guys are really interested in gold, his focus is gold. Like, my focus is primarily silver. His focus is primarily gold. But he talked about how there's a lot of YouTubers that, they do make those, we'll call them FOMO, we'll call them doomsday scenario videos, but you have to be careful with those, because what those videos do, and I've talked against this, I've been talking against videos like that for years. If you're going to watch them, he talked about how people that stack silver, while these are sound adult individuals, they are also still a little bit more susceptible to worry. This is what he said in his video. And he's right. If you think about it, a lot of us, we are a little bit more susceptible to worrying about things. We're worried about the dollar crashing. We're worried about, losing access to this. We're worried about being able to protect our family and protecting what's ours. And that's where a lot of gold and silver people come from. But, he talks about how there are times, and again, you're going to have to watch his video because I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. So please go watch his. But he talks about how, there are channels that take advantage of that, because they know it's going to give them more clicks. They know it's going to get them more viewers. And I myself know that if I started making videos saying that, oh my gosh, this is the reason you need to buy gold today, or you're just not going to have a chance, you're going to miss out, I know that's going to get me more views. But I'm not going to do that, because that's not how I've built my channel. That's not how I live. I wouldn't want somebody to, create FOMO in me So I don't want to do it to somebody else. You ever heard the term from somebody where they say, you know, don't do unto others that you wouldn't want them to do unto you? Well, guys, I live that way myself. So that's why I don't have any interest in creating videos like that. I will certainly, you know, make videos where I'm talking about, hey, spot price went up, or hey, this is going on, or hey, that's going on, but I'll never get in front of the camera and I'll never tell you, buy it now. Buy silver, buy gold now, or you're going to miss out. I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm just not going to do it. So you should watch that video from 2 is 1. Great video, great channel. I've been subscribed to him for a while. And like me, he held off on talking about what gold was doing Sunday night, Monday morning, until a couple of days later when it had settled down. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of, you know, as I do with all of my podcast style videos, I kind of just go on a tangent. I get off course, I get off base. But, you know, I think what we were talking about, I was talking about cryptocurrency, and I was talking about how people invest in cryptocurrency as a way to make more fiat. And that's what got me into talking about FOMO. You shouldn't FOMO into gold and silver, guys. I've said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. If you're going to invest in gold and silver, it should be money that you know you're not going to need right away. So as I've said before, you should have an emergency fund of cash ready to go, because cash is still what's runs this country. You know, you can't walk into a hospital and say, hey, I need my leg amputated. Here's 20 gold coins. It's not going to happen. You need to have and obviously that's a crazy scenario, but you get my point. You can't walk into a doctor's office for the most part. I understand there's exceptions to every rule, but you can't walk into a doctor's office for the most part and pay them in silver and gold. So you need to have cash available. You need to have your debts in line and make sure you're not sitting on any high interest debt. So if you're sitting on credit card debt, you shouldn't be buying gold and silver. Again, this is not financial advice, but if you're sitting on credit card debt, you shouldn't be buying gold and silver. If you're sitting on high interest debt of any form, you shouldn't be buying gold and silver. I'm not telling you not to stack gold and silver if you have a home loan. I mean, obviously you should kind of focus on getting that paid off as fast as you can, but I'm not telling you not to buy gold and silver because you have a home loan at 3%. That's great. Anyone would wish they could get a 3% home loan in today's market, but any high interest debt like credit cards, you know, if you bought a car recently that's sitting at 8% right now, worry about that before you worry about gold and silver. Again, I've said it already, but one more time, this is not financial advice. This is just me to you. You should always seek professional financial advice before making financial decisions. But gold and silver should definitely be important, but it should not be so important that you put it above your real world responsibilities. So make sure you take care of yourself first before you get into this precious metal. But when you do, when you are ready, gold and silver is definitely something you should think about. And that's what I do. I love gold and silver as my savings account, as my store of wealth. And I don't worry about, I was excited to see it go over $2,100, obviously, because it's exciting. But, you know, as someone who still wants to stack gold and silver, I actually prefer it to be a little bit cheaper so I can continue to add more of it to my stack for the money that I have to spend. So here's an example. If I had $1,000 to buy silver, I'm like, oh, look, I have this extra $1,000. I want to save it, so I want to put it in the silver. What would I rather silver be, 50 or 25? Of course, I'd rather it be 25 because I'm going to get twice as much silver for that same money. I'm not worried about the fact that the silver's not worth more. I'm worried about having more silver for when I need it. So I would love to be able to get that. And of course, you know, if it goes up, then it goes up, and I'm glad I have what I have, and I'll continue to stack. But, you know, I look at silver and gold on a dollar amount, of course, because that's what we trade in. But at the same time, I look at silver and gold as that fundamental store of wealth. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, guys. I know I always get a little off course with these Talking Hands podcasts, but that's because I just have something I want to talk about, and I just talk about it into the microphone. It's not scripted. It's not something that I wrote down. It's literally just rolling off the top of my head into the microphone to your ears on the other side. So let me know what you think. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Check out this video above me if you haven't seen that one yet, because I'm sure it's a great one. And we will see you in the very next video. Have a great rest of your day.